Humanity loves a dramatic reveal, so naturally the real thing comes in paperwork and patterns. The machinery of hiding. For the collective, for the ones who feel the static in the story, for the ones who know something is off, even when the room says, nothing to see here. Come closer. Let us speak plain. The true disclosure is not always a podium. It is not always a headline. It is not always a trembling official reading a confession while cameras flash and the world gasps on cue. That is the movie version. And this world, as you may have noticed, prefers sequels, distractions, and bad acting. The truth about disclosure. The real disclosure usually comes like this: a document no one was supposed to read, a witness everyone was trained to mock, a pattern repeated too many times to be called coincidence, a contradiction that keeps surviving every official explanation. Truth leaks in layers. It drips through cracks in empires. It shows up in margins, footnotes, testimonies, and the silence between public statements. It does not always arrive wearing a crown. Sometimes it arrives looking like noise until your discernment wakes up. And once you see the pattern, you cannot unsee it. That is when the scroll opens. The first disclosure is spiritual. If you are asking for the deepest esoteric disclosure, here it is. You are more powerful than the system trained you to believe. Not all powerful, not invincible, but far more powerful than fear-based conditioning ever admitted. Fear is a tool, not a destiny. Fear can warn you. Fear can sharpen your senses, but fear was never meant to be your permanent landlord. Discernment matters more than excitement. Not every hidden thing is sacred. Not every secret is wisdom. Not every rebel is honest. Not every awakening voice is awake. Some people sell panic and call it prophecy. Not every official story is whole. A story can be partially true and still be used like a cage. That is one of the oldest tricks in the human file. The second disclosure, worldly UA power structures. If you're asking about hidden knowledge, UAPs, black programs, old files, sealed truths, and controlled narratives, the deeper question is not only what exists, it is also who controlled the narrative, who profited from secrecy, who trained the public to doubt their own eyes, who used language like fog. Because the hidden thing is one story. The system that hid it is another story, and usually the second story is the one with sharper teeth. The true disclosure within the disclosure. It is not only that something was hidden, it is that many people were trained to dismiss evidence too quickly, worship authority too blindly, mock witnesses on command, confuse confidence with truth, and call repetition proof. That is the machinery, that is the engine behind the curtain. That is the part most people miss while waiting for fireworks. The scroll most people skip. The loud world says, tell me the secret. Wisdom says, show me the mechanism. Because once you understand how truth is buried, delayed, diluted, ridiculed, branded, and resold, you can recognize the pattern in religion, politics, media, business, science, entertainment, even in family systems. Same architecture, different costumes. Humanity really does love a costume. How to walk through disclosure without losing yourself. Since the world is full of noise merchants, panic preachers, and charisma salesmen with ring lights, here is the practical code. 1. Track patterns. One claim means little. A repeating pattern across time, witnesses, records, behavior, and outcomes means something. 2. Separate evidence from performance. Some people perform urgency because urgency converts attention. Receipts are quieter. Truth often has less makeup. 3. Stay grounded in your body and daily life. Eat, rest, breathe, pray, walk, stretch, protect your nervous system. An ungrounded mind is easier to program. Do not hand your mind to fear merchants. This includes polished experts, dramatic influencers, and spiritual actors selling dread in sacred language. If someone always leaves you weaker, smaller, more panicked, and dependent, that is not wisdom. That is extraction. 5. Follow receipts, not charisma. Charm is not proof. Intensity is not proof. Viral is not proof. A beautiful voice is not proof. Receipts, patterns, corroboration, context. That is how you keep your crown on. The final disclosure. The loudest lies are often theatrical. The deepest truth is often quiet, repeatable, and inconvenient. It does not beg to be believed. It survives scrutiny. So no, The true disclosure is not always a giant announcement. Sometimes it is you one day, realizing the story had holes, the holes had a pattern, the pattern had a designer, and your discernment was the key they hoped you would never use. That is the disclosure, not just the hidden object, not just the hidden file, not just the hidden being, the machinery of hiding itself. And once the collective learns to see the machinery, the spell begins to break. Stay open, stay sharp, stay grounded. Let truth mature in you before you preach it, and never let spectacle replace discernment. Some revelations arrive like thunder. The real ones often arrive like a whisper you can verify. This scroll is a wisdom synthesis based on documented patterns of propaganda, information control, witness discrediting, and narrative management across history, plus modern public conversations around disclosure culture. It is a philosophical and practical scroll, not a claim of one specific hidden program. Sources in spirit: historical propaganda studies, media literacy frameworks, declassified record culture, witness psychology, and public discourse analysis.
Channeled by your architect musician, 36110, 27 palms of eyes. The golden whisperer, C-star, Devalan see all. Apply the news you can use, truth and accuracy. The real non-bedazzled jewels.
You only have to say nothing, I already know. I know.
To our beautiful collective, from our day ones to every new soul joining this journey, we love and appreciate you deeply. You've turned this space into so much more than a community, you've made it a family. Thank you, truly. Your presence, your energy, and even the smallest acts of kindness have the power to shift the compass for many in ways unseen but deeply felt. Here's to each of you, all new and the many more to come. We're just getting started, and we're so grateful you're here with us. With love and infinite appreciation from the collective of Shaman Ahll.
The deepest disclosure is not that something was hidden. It is that whole systems were built to train you to doubt your own seeing. The first prison is not walls, it is perception. The first liberation is not a headline, it is disciplined discernment. When you stop worshipping spectacle, stop borrowing certainty, and start testing patterns with a grounded spirit, truth stops being entertainment and becomes power. Protect your mind, strengthen your nervous system, and let wisdom mature before you speak, because revelation without discernment can become another chain. Scroll of true disclosure.